You ever have one of those quiet Saturdays that feels too peaceful to last? Yeah, I was mid-sip on my morning espresso, Colombian roast, sun hitting my patio just right when I heard the unmistakable sound of a metal ladder scraping across my roof tiles. At first, I figured it was a city crew. Maybe maintenance, maybe some bird nest nonsense, but nope. When I stepped out, what I saw froze me mid-step. Karen, HOA president, perched on my roof with a roller brush. She was painting, not her house, not even her fence. No, she was painting my solar panels, solid gray, like she was priming them for an art project. "Karen!" I shouted. "What the hell are you doing?" She didn't even look guilty. "They're an eyesore," she said flatly, and the HOA voted to standardize rooftop aesthetics. You were outvoted. Now here's the part Karen didn't know. My entire home runs on solar backup, including my off-grid security system. That panel wasn't just saving me money. It was protecting evidence. Entry points the works. And with one coat of HOA-approved paint, Karen just killed the power. And the silent alarms. That was the moment I knew. This wasn't just HOA drama. It was war. And Karen just lit the fuse. Let me back up. I moved into this neighborhood 3 years ago, after retiring early from my job in cybersecurity. Quiet, tech-heavy minimalist. I keep to myself, but I like my things neat, secure, and powered sustainably. Hence the solar grid. The neighborhood's run by a homeowners association. One of those over-involved boards with laminated rule books and zero common sense. Enter Karen, HOA president for the last 12 years, and still somehow managing to act like every change is an affront to her authority. When I first moved in, Karen was all smiles and sugar. Brought over a bundt cake, handed me the HOA guidelines like it was scripture. By week 2, she was already dropping notes in my mailbox. "Your mailbox isn't HOA-compliant beige. Your succulents aren't on the approved plant list. Please angle your solar panels to match the neighborhood slope." I ignored most of it. I'm not technically under the HOA. I bought into a property parcel that predated the formation of their bylaws, a loophole she hated. The solar panels really set her off. "They're ugly," she said at a board meeting. "They lower curb appeal." Even though I wasn't even a voting member, she kept trying to enforce her rules on me. Then came the fines, fake ones. I'd get HOA letters for infractions, with absurd photos, like my recycle bin being 1 inch from the curb instead of flush. Of course, I ignored them, but that only made her angrier. One day, I came home and found orange tape wrapped around my panels like a crime scene. "Under investigation by the HOA," it read. That was the warning, and I missed the message, because 2 days later, I caught her on the roof, literally rolling industrial paint over the photovoltaic glass. She didn't ask. She didn't warn. She acted. What she didn't realize is that every solar panel on my roof is linked to a private, off-grid battery system. And that system powers not only my house, but my 24/7 security system, including high-end surveillance and silent alarms tied to motion, entry, and data access. The moment the panels went dark, my security logs stopped updating. And in 1 hour, I got an alert. Backup system disabled. Security system offline. I was furious, but I stayed calm. Because this wasn't just about paint. This was tampering. Possibly criminal. And Karen had just handed me every ounce of leverage I needed, gift-wrapped, in HOA arrogance. You'd think she'd stop after the solar stunt, but no. The next day, Karen strutted through the neighborhood like she just won a battle. She even posted in the HOA Facebook group. "Community action taken. Visual harmony restored." That post lit up like fireworks. Some neighbors applauded her. Others were confused. One guy asked, "Wait, wasn't that his roof?" I didn't respond publicly, but I watched. 2 days later, I got an anonymous complaint about suspicious electronics in my garage. Code enforcement showed up. Karen had filed a report saying I was running an illegal generator. She tried to bury me in bureaucracy, sent HOA letters claiming my driveway slope was illegal, that my front light violated brightness thresholds, even claimed my mailbox needed to be 4 inches shorter. But the best part? She didn't know that her paint job had disabled more than just a security system. It cut the backup line to a hidden server rack inside my garage. That server had backups of everything. Everything. Including video of her climbing onto my property, painting my panels, trespassing, tampering. I filed a police report, quietly, didn't tell anyone. Let her keep digging. Because at this point, Karen wasn't just annoying. She was criminally liable. But I wanted more than just a fine. I wanted everyone, every neighbor, every smug HOA board member, to see what kind of leadership they really had. So I started planning. First, I filed a formal cease and desist, mailed directly to Karen and CC'd to the HOA's legal advisor. I cited unauthorized entry, property damage, and evidence of security tampering. She ignored it. So I sent the video footage anonymously to the local news tip line. That's right. Local HOA president, accused of property sabotage, made it onto the 6 p.m. segment. But I wasn't done. I reached out to the solar company. They assessed the damage, nearly $12,000 in repair and replacement. I had their report notarized and included it in a small claims suit. Meanwhile, I posted a satirical flyer across the neighborhood. Solar eclipse, starring Karen, HOA president and rooftop artist. Catch her performance on Channel 9. Some neighbors started laughing. Others were horrified. HOA board members started distancing themselves. Then I showed up to the next HOA meeting. Karen walked in like nothing happened. Until I plugged in a USB stick. Projected behind me on the big screen was the footage. Karen, on the roof, bucket, roller, paint. Followed by the news clip. Followed by the repair bill. Followed by the police report. The silence in that room? Golden. Then I ended with this. Since you're so passionate about aesthetics, Karen, maybe you'll appreciate the visual clarity of evidence. The fallout hit like a summer monsoon. Karen didn't even finish the meeting. She stood up, grabbed her purse, and walked out. By the next week, I got a letter from the HOA board. They were suspending Karen's authority pending internal investigation. That same day, I got another letter. This one from Karen's lawyer. She offered to settle, quietly, pay for damages, sign a formal apology, and step down voluntarily. But I declined the private settlement. I wanted a public apology. I showed up to the next meeting with a projector again. This time I didn't show videos. I showed emails. Karen had tried to convince the board to phase out visible tech infrastructure in the name of neighborhood aesthetics. Emails with dates, timestamps, and clear intent. She tried to silence modern energy, out of spite. Finally, the board voted to ban Karen from holding any HOA leadership for 5 years. Oh, and that server system? I upgraded it. Wired through the ground this time. No rooftop interference. The cherry on top? I installed a new sign on my lawn. This property protected by the sun and by lawsuits. Neighbors started waving when they passed. Even the ones who used to snitch. Look, I don't hate HOAs. I get it. Structure, guidelines, some level of order. But power in the hands of the wrong person? That's where things rot. Karen didn't care about the neighborhood. She cared about control. And the second someone didn't fall in line, she tried to paint over them, literally. My panels are back. My security system is stronger than ever. And Karen? She's back to planting petunias on her front porch like nothing ever happened. But everyone remembers, and that's the real justice. So if you're ever up against someone like Karen, stay calm. Document everything. And when the time is right, let the truth do the painting. What would you have done if you caught someone painting your roof panels? Comment below. And hey, if you made it to the end, type "justice served" in the comments. I'll be reading. Until next time, stay sunny.